That's the for another day.
It's a story for today. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a new subscriber, you know I love you. You know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. Okay, so today I have this guy here. This guy that has been he has been solid help to me. I'm not even going to lie. Like since I came to this US, God has blessed me with the gift of people, and Femi has been one of them. And you guys don't even know. You don't even know. And I'm so excited to have him on the channel today. He's the first guest I'm ever interviewing, like physically. I'm ever interviewing physically. I just wanted us to. This is not an interview, actually. This is just a chat.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like a chit chat between the two of us, right? Just talking generally about. Anyways, before I go into what we're talking about, Femi, introduce yourself to my people.
All right, hi guys. Welcome to our YouTube channel. So I'm Femi. I'm definitely from Nigeria. I've been following Victoria for quite a number of time from Nigeria.
That's so true. You know, it's so funny that when we met here the first time, he was like, I know you from YouTube.
I was so surprised that, wait, true. I know you now.
How long have you been following the channel?
So I think I've been following the channel prior to when we met. I have been following the channel for close to about 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah, close to about 8 months, like back to back.
What are you looking for in the channel? What is the content there that
there's some sweet content I used
sweet
to
content. Continue your introduction.
So I was like, I know this person. So it was really good meeting her, and so far it's been really good. It's been awesome, nice. I know. Okay, let me not say it. Let me keep quiet. Let me keep quiet. So guys, I'm Femi and I'm happy to be here, happy to be with Victoria.
Anyway, so Femi is also a student in my school. We met here in Harrisonburg. And yeah, and it's been great since then, like yeah. Anyway, so today I want us to talk about, mostly we talk about women here when my husband is not here. But since for the past 1 year, it's always been my face and other women. She'll see. It's always been my face and other women. But I think that we don't really highlight, and I think there are a lot of content around women, the struggles we have and stuff like that, but we don't really highlight, men, basically, like adulting. What it really means, what it really entails. Like I was just in a video and then I was talking about sex in marriage. Don't worry. That's not what I'm asking. Okay. It's not married yet. But it's single is not session. Just so you know. To my girlfriend, it's not sexual. What's the problem? Anyways, because I know a lot of women, we have our own struggles, we have our own, like, you get to a certain age, you're looking for a man to marry, and then we have our own idea of who the man is. We want him to be settled, to know what he's doing, to have his career figured out, to have his life figured out, to have some money in the bank, be able to take care of us and him also, and probably even a child, to be able to like ensure that he can pay the bills and stuff like that. So we have all these demands that we have of guys. And then it's been so bad these days that now you are seeing like young guys going into Yahoo and all this fraudsters and stuff like that, just because they're trying to keep up with the demands of girls. But let me start with this, okay? Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like the demand on you was unreasonable from like a lady? Of course, a lady, unless you are playing for the other. Where I should
Please, disclaimer.
Okay. Have you what has relationship been like? Like, have you ever been in that relationship, or or a time in your life where you feel like a lot is required of you as a man?
So yeah, I would say yes, because I haven't been
the relationship part.
No relationship. No, I've not been in so many relationships. I've not been in relationships actually. All right, this will be my second relationship, like yeah, like genuine relationships. I knew that when I was young, like I had a lot of flings, a lot of nonsense stuff and like stuff like that. But I didn't count those ones as relations. Like this would be my really second like genuine relationship. And I know my first one. It wasn't because someone broke my heart, or let me say, I broke
so
the
you
person.
broke somebody. Tell us. What did the person do? What did he do?
I think then I was really childish and
breakfast giver.
Then I was just, it was just like I was young, very childish. It wasn't right, like secondary school love and all those things. Okay. So like I just
that's
felt
a
like,
pass.
yeah. So
we all make mistakes.
Exactly. So about. Right, I feel like there is that pressure on you, and for me, coming from like a family of 3, I'm the only boy. Like having just ladies around me, having sisters, senior sister and a junior sister, you just feel like you are like the man in the family, and like you just almost want to carry like all of this burden. Like okay, and I'm the one every one of us is looking up to in this family.
You are the last child.
I'm the mid. I'm in the middle, yeah. So like I have a senior and I have a junior. So like I really just feel like, even though I have a senior sister, but then like if it just feels like all those kind of things, yeah, you get. So you just so those pressure really gets to you, and it's honestly it kind of shapes your decision on like steps you take, things you have to put into consideration when you're making like decisions about your life.
At what stage do you think, like at what age do you think that as a guy you start wondering or deciding about your future and stuff? Or I'm not asking the age now.
Yeah.
Like, at what
stage in life
do you think that now you feel like you have to be serious about your life? I know it can't be general, because for some guys it's to play for the rest of until when it's like 40 they are not looking for how to settle down and stuff. But what do you think, like generally in your own experience and the people that you have around you, you know, how has that, what stage do you think that is?
I would say, for me, let me use myself as an example. I think for me, it dawned on me when I was actually in the university, probably like close to my final year. That was when it actually dawned on me that wait, it's like this school. So like all my life I've just been like, okay, primary school, secondary school, you're still in school, you're in your father's house, you're going home, holidays you're going back. So like when I was almost done with my university, I was like, wait, when I'm done with this university, there is that orientation that once you're done with university like this, you get that kind of thing. And it's like and honestly, like when immediately I finished my 400 level, it was like most of my allowances that I was getting stopped.
Of course.
All of these things were like these things I have to psych and beg my mom or my dad to like, Dad, I'm your son. Please now. to like get the lot. So I would say ideally most people, it's usually like in university, because I feel like most people have it figured out earlier. Most people, their parents are like, could help them navigate through this process of making them realize, oh yeah, this is you being a man. Their parents could help them support. But like some of us, they did help us definitely, but like there's still that part of yourself. Not if you're not willing to like give into this thing early on, you would also realize it later on, and that's when you start figuring out yourself. But I feel like it really happens in that space of the university education, where you are like mature to make your own decisions.
I was talking to my husband, about this one of those times, and it was like where he grew up, right?
Yeah.
The moment you leave for university, as a man, you're not expected to come back home.
Yeah.
For me, I did not expect myself to come back home, because I have always been an independent spirit. But if I'd come back home as a woman, there won't be a lot of pressure on me. There won't be a lot of like. But do you think that, were you ever under that kind of a pressure, like after school, I need to like move out, I need to like figure out my life, know what the next step is, and stuff like that?
Actually, I would say no, because I know my parents are not, they don't care. If I go home today, my mommy and my daddy will accept me. Oh yeah, come with. They would definitely accept me.
That's
definitely,
good.
yeah. But I wasn't feeling that pressure to like move. But like I knew like it was just being, for me, I actually moved out after my undergrad. But I knew that it was just my responsibility to like try to figure out things on my own. I would never under their own tutelage, under their own, up to this stage, they've tried for me. Up to that stage that I am now, I figured like, oh yeah, it's time to like explore out there. It's time to figure out things by myself, try to do things. Because if like the more you stay, I feel like the more you stay under them, like right now, you've gotten to that stage whereby you're almost equal. For me, I'm almost equal to them in education. I'm almost equal to them with like the knowledge and experience they could give me already. They've given me that same experience for like over like 15, 18, 20 years. So like I feel like if I still stay there, I'm just still being in my comfort zone and not exploring what is out there. So like that's why I have to like, for me, I have to like make a decision like, oh okay, let's look for something, let's find something,
so
let's figure out my life.
Sure, that decision was not based on pressure. It was based on mostly you just wanting to.
Yeah.
But do you think it's still societal expectations, like sort of, or it's just you?
A bit. I would actually attribute it a bit to actually societal expectations, because definitely as a man, they expect that as a man in our kind of society, they expect that you probably have yourself figured out before. And you want to get married, you want to settle down, they expect that you probably get yourself figured out. You probably have a car, you have a good job paying, you have a house, a roof over your head, and you get all those expectations. But I would say partly it was because then, everybody has like some benchmarks or milestones you've set for yourself. Like, oh, I want to get married before 26. I want to do this at okay. And those things usually change with time. Like at 15, you can say, okay, by 25, I can be like a pilot or
at 25.
No, these are real expectations. I know I was thinking about like, okay, I want to be a pilot. And then when you go to university and you start doing some courses, maybe chemistry will snap you back and forth.
Nobody will tell you.
Nobody will tell you. Be like, it's like I can calm down a bit. Maybe I should just do psychology. Maybe I should do sociology. So you just get those expectations, those milestones just change over time, and you just gradually and really it's just how we figure out ourselves along the way. As we just go progress in life, you just tend to figure out yourself more and more and more. So it was more like that.
All right. So okay, now let's go back to you're a Christian, right? How long have you been born again?
I would say I've been born again since 2015.
2015. Were you born in a Christian family?
Yeah, I was born in a Christian family.
But you were wayward until 15 years old. Okay, we get it. You don't need to explain. That's story for another day. It's a story for today. Because, all jokes aside, though, you're Christian, young guy, navigating life and stuff. Do you feel like, now I'm talking we've talked about the career aspect, getting your life figured out, but in your walk with God, right? There are certain societal expectations that we have for men, like a man has to have experience with sex, a man has to have, don't worry, I'm not asking about experience with sex. A man has to be wild as a man, like you have to have numerous girlfriends, relationships and stuff like that.
I don't feel
but you see, even when you necessarily don't want to, I feel like, and this is me talking from a female perspective, I feel like our society has kind of had this generalization about guys, about men, and I feel like because I know I had this conversation with my husband, and most times it's not necessarily what you want to do, because they make it seem like, men are these people that cannot control themselves. They are born with that innate want or desire to be wild. And my husband always tells me that those narratives were just things that men, ride on to be lewd, basically, right? So it's not necessarily that they cannot control themselves. It's like the society does not expect you to, so why do you even try, right? So I'm wondering, like, for you, trying to navigate, maybe you gave your life at 50. Okay, you said you gave your life at 50 to Christ at 15 years old. Always.
No, 2015.
Apologies, 2015,
yeah.
Right? And then I'm sure that time you were still like navigating teenagehood to adulthood and stuff
definitely.
like that. How was that like for you? Do you feel like in the world, like worldly things, were you enticed, or were you just that, I stand with God,
so
we don't look side, we don't have left, right, and center, it's only God we focused on? What was that like for you?
So, navigating my teenage years to adulthood, I would say it wasn't easy. It was definitely wasn't easy. And one thing I knew, I could like now talk about it and like laugh about it. The fact that my parents' training, like my home training was strong. My home training was really strong, and it really helped me. So now I could look back and say, oh, okay, probably this was actually what actually saved me then. And really, my home training really kept me through some of the things in my teenagers. Like I would want to do something sometimes, and the only thing that will be ringing in my head is the words of my mom, the words of my parents, the advice they gave me. Don't do this, don't do the implication of this thing, the implication of that one. So those words would just ring in my head. I'm like, if my parents hear, and I had this very good reputation with my mom and dad. Like they look me as dad good boy. Like you get that kind of like.
Well, you're better than me, because for me, it's so funny. I did a video with my mom recently, and she always out of the three of us, we're also three. I'm also the middle child. Yeah. She always said, "This you are the problem of this family." And it's so weird because I end up being the good child of the family. Not to say my sister and my brother, they are good, but I'm gooder. You know, Mom, if you are watching this video, good afternoon, ma. This guy.
So it was just one of those things that really kept me during my teenage years, and like navigating like now teenage to adulthood, and now coming into like Christianity, into the kingdom. It was one thing I knew helped me. It wasn't easy. That's why I said at first, like it wasn't like it was easy. But like one thing I knew helped me, especially during my university days. I think for me that those were like the peak years for me. Like it was body the hot. Or let's do all this. Let's do everything all together. Everything soft. But like I think one thing that really kept me was I was immersing myself in group of friends, with group of friends, in fellowship activities, all of those things. So like I never wanted to be like the active member. I always like to be like the silent member in church. But like I always wanted to go to church. I wanted to go to Bible study. I wanted to go to prayer meeting. But like I don't want people to see. I wanted to be like after grace like this, jackpot, nobody see me. I don't come to church.
I think this is very rampant because my husband was also like that until we met. I'm telling you, my husband has been in his church for 10 years.
10 years.
I can count how many people know my husband. If you don't, people maybe they were lawyers together or stuff. That's the only way they know him. People in the church, they didn't even know my husband existed. I was in this church. I only stayed in that church for like 1 year and a half. By the time I left, my husband was a celebrity in the church. Because how can you be in your father's house and your brothers and your sisters don't know you? Make it make sense, right? But yeah, it was so bad that when he even joined his department, they said, "You've been in this church. How long have you been?" He said, "I've been here since 10 years."
That's interesting. 10 years. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So that really helped me a lot. Like being in that community of like where everyone is thinking, and the thing is, it's not even like everyone have their issues. And thinking about it now, we all had our issues. Like people had things they were dealing with. It's not like we are all like everyone was like perfect and you were all looking up to each other like I want to be like this. That's pretty cool. But like just being in that company of people just makes you every week like consistently just makes you see helps you to navigate those stages like week, and it's just week. And you want to go to church today. On Tuesday, maybe there's no church. On Wednesday, you're going to church. That Tuesday, if you want to do anything, you will remember that I'll go to church again on Wednesday and use that mouth. Anyway, that mouth, you want to use go and praise God again. So it will just help you to cope a lot of things, and that's why I feel like a life without God, it is almost worthless. If not worthless.
If you don't have God in your life, you've not started living until you have God.
And that's the fact.
Oh, you are doing Riaza. You are doing Riaza in life. When you know God, that's when you actually start living.
And that's the fact. So like being in that community, and that community really helped. Even up till now, like those small groups of people that I really connected with, and we just formed that strong bond. Like even till now, they just still like the support is just still there. It just still runs down. Like even till now, if I'm like overwhelmed with anything, I could just like run back to them like, see, let's this thing is happening. I beg, pray for me. Help me to see God. And so like it just helps to like navigate life easily without an iron sharpened iron, definitely. So it just helps you not to be in your own space of, okay, I'm figuring all these things by myself, I'm doing this by myself. And you just probably think one day, what is the essence? What is the essence of this life? Let's chop life. It's once. We
only live once. I think that's interesting that you spoke about friends, because for me too, I think that has been one of the things that shaped me, right? And it was also in my university days, and that's why I always say that you will be you are a product of the people you have around you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The kind of friends you keep, the kind of company you keep, you will reflect them eventually. I remember, when I was in university, it was Christy and Bolaji, right? Bolaji was like the one we look up to, because if you do anyhow, she will call you out on your bullshit, and she does not mince word. Like, she would tell you the way it is, right? But it was through them I got to know that I admired the way they fellowship with God. They were the one that even taught me how to do quiet time, like have a quiet time with God before going out. Have a time with God. You can be personal with God. It was through them. I already knew these things before I came in, but like actively practicing them, it was because of the people that I had around me, and I'm so grateful, to have had them around. That's why I think it's important, and I really appreciate that. And also the parents thing, I also grew up from a very, very strict home. Okay. I'll share some of my childhood trauma on this channel. Not necessarily trauma, but the training, that my mom gave to us. Just like you, whenever I want to like go astray, I'll be hearing my mom's voice.
Yeah, it will just
if you carry pregnancy inside this house, and stuff like that. They were the things that served as a guardrail for me to know that when you go this far, you come back. Okay, so may God keep our parents for us. May God keep blessing them, and may they live long enough to eat the fruits of their labor. I know that you are not a wayward child, okay, and I know you're a Christian. I want to believe so.
Yes, you can believe so.
I even believe so because I know you, but it's still, you are still human, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You will still, I believe that you still like crave for companionship. And so what would you say is like the biggest push or drive for you towards marriage at this stage?
Okay, at this stage, really, I would say, like you said, I would really say it boils down to companionship, really. Because right now, it feels like so, before I got into this current relationship, I was like, my mind was zeroed. Like, let's see, masters, this one, that one. I like planned like the next 3-4 years. Okay, maybe after 10, now like, or if anything, or like I was like, okay, between those years I'll be open if we see somebody, and then, but like when this when it happened, like all those things were like, no, I cannot wait. That for
what to get there finally.
And like those things that I know now we can do it alongside. Yeah. We can balance things up, and really, and that's one thing. You just like think about, like reevaluate yourself, like based on what is happening, and you feel like, yeah, this is really what I want. This is you enjoy, like I enjoy the companionship, and you be like, yeah, this is, you can further on like to like progress to the next stage. And so it's more like having to have someone at that particular point where, and it just like reminds me of what I've actually been missing, staying single. So like all I've stayed single, like I'm not the person that calls and shares. I just head on, navigate everything like, oh, this is happening, we'll be fine. Or probably if I have like things bothering me, I'll just probably watch a movie or play a game, or like just like try to figure it out on myself, on my own. But like right now, even if you don't want to share, you have to share. Even if someone is calling you at one very uncomfortable hour that you feel like that you cannot pick the call, but because of the love and everything, and it's just like, yeah, you just have that soft spot for that person, and you just really enjoy that moment. Like, yeah, this is the peace I want. This is giving me so much peace. This is giving me so much joy, and why not? My plans can actually fit into this, and this person's plans actually also fit into this. So let's enjoy companionship together.
It's interesting. I like, you mentioned that you don't really know what you're missing. I have a friend. When I just met her, right, she used to say, me, I'm single, no. I'm not in a hurry, I'm not in
yeah, that was me.
I just want to I can't come and stress myself. I started praying for her that God would give her a life partner, and God answered the prayer. You see that I'm comfortable being single, I'm independent woman. It have changed because you see, when you experience companion, we are humans, we are created for companionship, whether you like it or not. You get a time when, even if you are doing independent woman or man, you will get to a stage where your mind, your body, everything will call for a companion, right? It's just like Adam didn't ask for a wife, but it got to a point where God saw that he needed a companion. He said for Adam there was no helper found, or there was no mate, there was no partner found for him. That's what the Bible says, and God created him for him, right? So I think that at every stage you would like desire that, and it's just innate as humans. God created that desire in us, right? So yeah, I think this has been a fun conversation.
Absolutely.
And I hope
Absolutely.
that I know that a lot of you must have learned a thing or two from this video. I am so grateful that we eventually had this video, even though I almost cancelled last minute. For reasons that you cannot know.
I would have used it. She would do sacrifice to
because he drove his bicycle from school to come here.
No, now my Mercedes.
Mercedes Benz. That's only too tired. But anyways. Anyway, this has been a fun conversation. I think that these are conversations that I think we should have more conversation with men, especially from a woman's perspective, from a discussing opposites, just to be able to, and that's why I love recording my husband, just to be able to see how life actually works from men, because I really feel like there are a lot of expectations and expectations that are placed on men, right, and expected from them, and we don't really understand how those pressures can add to their attitude when they eventually get married. And then they are aggressive, or they end up being promiscuous and all of that. It's because of the things that they've been brought up to believe that as a man you can get away with, or you are supposed to to produce, right, or to be basically, right? So anyways, thank you for honoring us on this channel, and thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment,
please like, comment.
Yes, and share this video
and shoot shots
and kini better. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until we meet again, I still remain Victoria Fash, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Bye.